Okay, we're live. Hi, everybody. Wow, it has been a long couple of weeks, which, according to 2020 time, is centuries. So, hi, welcome back to the Spare Brigade. We are a Lancer stream dedicated to this little sandbox world that I've created. We all took a break for finals and holidays and stuff like that, but now we're all back, and we have some cool new digs, new assets, new stuff like that. I have new headphones. But we'll do a little bit of just thanking all the people who made this possible, and then kind of link up all each other's stuff. Also, this music is just bopping. I'm just sorry, I'm just getting a little distracted by that. This is actually music from Paul Melanson. Thank you, Paul, for allowing us to use your music like this. I think it's really left a mark on the vibe and the aesthetic of combat and everything in our game so far. I'm just very fantastic to have this kind of accompaniment as we keep delving into this Lancer game. We also have this overlay art thanks to at the Raven, Raven Evermore. They do great, wonderful Twitch overlay art. You know, she's just so talented. Love her. I'm very glad to be talking to her more. We also have art from a multitude of people. One at Alana Knight for the Exo art that we saw a couple sessions back. It was supremely cool, and I love it. At Alana Knight, it should be in the plugs on the channel right now. We also have art from Kathina Draws. We have art from Alex, who are present with us tonight. They're just wonderful, talented artists, and I'm so thankful to have them on my team here, just in general. You guys bring some really wonderful stuff. I don't know, man. This is such a great team here. We also have music from at the Simulacra, AE, at the end. They did the intro song that you heard during our Starting Soon music. It's our official theme. Supremely just amazing and definitely skilled. We have upcoming art from at Lymph Owned, who does wonderful Lancer themed spaceships and mechs and all sorts of stuff. So if you find any interest in Lancer itself, really great system. You can go to them and commission some very interesting Lancer mech designs as well as ship designs. So we got that coming up soon with a little special retooling thanks to our friend Katie here. So then I think that's everyone, right, Pat?
I think so. Yes.
They love to see it. Alrighty, so without further ado, let's see our hosts, our friends here. Starting with our actual host, Pat. Pat, why don't you ease us in here with starting our own plugs?
Ooh, it's a bad idea asking me to ease in and actually do my shout-outs in a cohesive manner instead of scattered all over the place like usual.
Just saw what I did.
I'm Pat.
Beat that.
I'm Pat. I go by Attactrick on Twitch and on Twitter. Like this channel that you're already on. Yeah, what else do I do? I play role-playing games here, on Black Feather Guild, on Polished Cryptid's channel, on Anybody That'll Have Me. We also do video games on this channel. And in this game, I play Axon. Axon is our... God, I just keep falling back to calling him an e-boy. He's the former Cosmo Brawl athlete, which I have always remembered the name of that sport, and there's no video evidence to suggest otherwise. And yeah, he's just so thrilled to have his contract transferred to the military, and this be his life now.
Alrighty, thank you, Axon. Easing into the stream and also easing into military life. Not easy after surviving Bandy Prime. Orientation Day was not fun for anyone present here. I'm very happy about that. Next we have Talon with Katie. Katie?
Remember to unmute myself. Okay. Talon is a four-armed, kind of desert-colored lizard person who has skills in making slime creatures for both company and combat, and is the group medic. She is also learning how to human, or how to understand humans. So, do I plug myself?
You could just say at Kathina Draws on Twitter.
Kathina Draws for art stuff at Instagram and Twitter.
Okay, great. We can also just get more into that at the end. But thank you, Kat. Really wonderful always to have you with us. Zeta at Ikaza1. Great to have you back. We missed you last session.
Thank you. Yeah, I was doing a lot of work. I made my first film recently, finishing up college, running around like a crazy person. But hi, I'm Jules, otherwise known as Ikaza1, and I play Pup 2, the little piece of royalty who ends up doing their own thing and is sort of here now.
Love to see it. I'm very excited, making your first short film, graduating. I'm kind of in the same boat in some areas there. But, check out their stuff. I think we have that in the plug. Yep, we have that plugged. Crawlies. Very good, very good. Small clarification. I noticed we do already have the animation up, just saying. So that was Kathina. That was the art on the ship there, just like at the front, is from Alex. And this was also put on by... This is a collaboration of so many people. It's really cool. All right, so with that in mind, Alex.
What tab am I in?
I heard rain, and then that, and I'm just like, what world did we just briefly see?
Hi, I'm Alex. I am a digital artist, and I very much like being on this channel, though they don't make me introduce myself first. I'm playing Sean. The person whose backstory is redacted.
There's so many black lines. It should not be on the internet.
Too indecent for the internet. Right now, Sean's learning how to be a person while also learning how to be a pilot, working with a team who he doesn't have to lie to. So it's going to be interesting, and he's already made an ass of himself to our medic.
Absolutely.
I'm just like, oh god, he is so fucking ashamed of that. He's just like, oh my god, I do not know how to people anymore. What the fuck?
As that was going on, I was just like, I don't know how to proceed with this. Alrighty, thank you, Alex.
Like, what happens? Everything is awkward. That's what happens.
All right, let's move on. We have now our buddy Leland. Leland, how's it going?
I'm your buddy. That's so sweet.
Always been my buddy. You've been
Cool.
my pal, my guy.
Yeah, I'm your pal. I thought I was just the old guy that everyone hung out with. Anyway.
Who you going, Kyle? Guy, pal. Who you going, pal, buddy?
I am Leland / Leopold the Just. You can find me on the internet at Leopold the Just. And by the internet, I mean the social medias. That's the best way I can put that. Just all of them, really, except for TikTok. Anyway, all right. Yeah, I'm playing.
He hasn't gone to yet. The one place I am safe.
Yes, exactly. I am playing Thaddeus. Oh. I'm Thaddeus. The baddest crack shot in the whole damn galaxy. But really, my character is just like somebody who assumed the name Thaddeus and is desperately trying his best to maintain that illusion. But yes, I'm very, very excited, as Borat would say, since Borat's back.
Mm.
No, Borat.
I don't know how much we should talk about Borat. I was about to make a Giuliani joke, and I was
I
like,
think we should
"Eh."
definitely talk
2020 has
about
been a
Borat.
weird year.
This is on Twitch, which is owned by Amazon. Amazon's a Borat or Borat's an Amazon original. Boom, we get more ad revenue. Let's talk about Borat 3 more
My
times.
wife.
If I work for Amazon,
wife.
does that count as a sponsor?
My wife.
Yes.
My
I
wife.
do work for them, so.
My
That's
wife.
cool.
My wife.
Even more sponsors. Let's get that ad revenue.
I just want like totally played seriously normal voice just for it go. My wife. And then I'm done. That is it. No more Borat jokes or no Giuliani jokes here. Okay, finally, me now. It's my turn. Finally, because I have something to plug now, which is cool. I have a Twitch channel. It's the same as my name, Chatterbox AVA. Very easy to pronounce. It's on my Twitter. Tomorrow at 2 p.m. Eastern, I am going to build a PC for the first time. And I'm not going to pay someone to do it, so I am in danger. If anyone would like to help me, or just watch me fail and chill out while I'm doing that, please check out my Twitch channel. It's got neon plague doctors for some
Can we
reason.
tackle you?
I had a brand from the first time I did tabletop on Twitch as being a plague doctor known as Dr. Ven, and now he is my brand for the rest of my life, maybe. Cool. So that's my plug, and I yield my time, and we are going to ease us into the world I have carefully constructed, but did a bunch of writing last minute today, to keep up with our folks here. So let's bring up some new music. Alrighty. So, also I have a cheat sheet on pinned on my Twitter if you guys need any information that I have covered previously in the show. I'll continue to add to that as we go along. I've also organized a bit. So we're gonna do a little recap.
We also have a command in chat for it too now. If anybody ever wants to pull up
thank
our
God.
codex.
Thank you, Base Lord. Thank you, Pat, because you're my engineering messiah here. I cannot do this. I'm going to have to try to do this on my own event starting tomorrow. Sorry. So now we go to our recap. Spare Brigade, 105th Armored Calvary Brigade, has just brought you onto their super carrier, the Canopy of Joy, following a disastrous arrival to a colony in progress known as Bandy Prime. Bandy Prime is now a wreck of a planet. Much of its wildlife is extinct. The colony itself is in shambles and tatters, and it wasn't your fault. Thankfully, you wouldn't assume it would be your fault, but no, it was giant, strange cube that emitted a storm across the planet known as Petrichor. It was only thanks to a militia lancer group known as the Meda Dragoons that saved all of you from a terrible fate, and fought off this cube, though it appeared like they haven't been able to do much damage to this creature in the first place. You had some time to explore the Canopy of Joy, get to know your commanding officer just a little bit. Kind of an awkward, deep-voiced, but hunk of a man. He looks almost like a Nordic warrior, and with the blade on his side, he probably was at one point. You also met Dorian Ledwov, a Russian-speaking strange guy. He is your sort of tap into like the network of the Meda Cluster. Everyone had some downtime. You know, there was some things that happened with Alex and Talva. That led to a superior getting involved and basically be like, let's work on your English, or I'm gonna call it basic, or like, you know, like let's work on your human speak. a bit, so we can avoid this in the future. You can be absolutely clear. We have someone that can help you learn. So I would assume maybe you did that a little bit during that downtime. That's up to you, Talva. So finally, we are going to go into our current episode, Needle Meat Haystack. So we of course have our new log. The date is March 19th, 12170. Time is 1200 hours Universal Standard Time, and you are located in the airman system of the Meda Cluster. The current mission is briefing, undertitled Operation Keep Away. It has been 2 days since you arrived on the Canopy of Joy, given 2 days on leave to settle into your new quarters and recover from the horror of Bandy Prime. In that time, many of you have discovered some of the Canopy's crewmates, the simulation suite, and your private rooms. Now, at 1200 hours, you hear a little bing on the intercom within your rooms. A familiar voice. Your commanding officer, Major Arthur King. Oh, actually, I have a voice effect for this. We can do that. Oh, if it will start. Let's see if it works. All right, cool. Brigadiers Talva, Peptu, Dermont, Blake, and Brink report to meeting room 16B for briefing in 15 minutes. Bing bong. How do you guys react?
John finally gets out of the shower that he's been standing in for the last 2 hours.
Are your fingers just like just a mass of wrinkles?
We don't talk about it.
I just kind of like jump out of bed, just like alarmedly.
I think you've been asleep for the past 2 days. Unless we can also talk actually maybe after briefing what you've done before all this happened. It's up to you. But give it some thought. Yeah, let's do this. We're saying I slept for 2 days.
Yeah, just gonna wake up, just face plant on the ground.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
you went to your room. And then,
Bear, we got Papachu way too drunk.
I mean, also battle fatigue. And
yeah,
air.
just everything kind of hit at once. Just
Yeah. So like 2 days out. Now you're up and you're refreshed. I won't say that you are like a spring chicken, but you are technically feeling like Peptu is feeling like they are at least not intoxicated, or like, you know, that you're not, your blood hasn't run cold in any fashion from the exo attack, so you are, you know, kind of in a safe place right now. Safe has meant different things for you across your sort of lonely pilgrimage through the Meda Cluster, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Everyone else, how you feeling?
Thaddeus is probably just like frantically looking for his helmet, because he's lost it somewhere in his room, and the fact that he's got like such short notice for a meeting has got him worried. So he's just sort of freaking out a bit, keeps looking back at the door to make sure no one's coming in, and finally finds his helmet and just lets out a sigh of relief, and then finishes getting dressed and then clicks it on. Because remember, he always wears it even in the shower. So it's the only way he's even gotten away with this is that he's had like a similar body type. Like he put, like when Thaddeus Brink like was dead like in the alley from like ejecting from his mech, like he like went and like unzipped his flight suit and everything and tried it on, and like even noted how like perfectly it fit. So like him and Thaddeus have like almost the same body and musculature and everything. So as long as he's got the helmet on, no one can really tell, unless it's been like someone that has been intimate with Thaddeus in the past. Maybe there's like a difference there with other things. But yeah, other than that, pretty similar. So, you know, gotta keep that up.
You put on the Prosta collar and clicking, vroom, and like it's depicting the same face that Thaddeus Brink would wear on his Proso collar, or is just Thaddeus Brink's face. I'd like to think that it is a Proso collar that kept his identity obscured, so they don't necessarily think that you're like what's the word for it? They don't expect anything other than you to be in this uniform always, right?
Yeah, exactly. I was lucky, and Thaddeus kept his identity secret, almost like an anti-hero to begin with, So
yeah, like he didn't take credit during missions. He just got to work. Is probably your summation too. So like, go ahead.
once I've finally dressed and everything, though, I even though my entire demeanor is very frantic, but as soon as I get dressed, I sort of like stiffen up into that military professional demeanor, and then let out a big sigh and open the door and head out to the meeting.
Okay. How is Axon waking up our e-boy?
Sorry, how early is this?
1200 hours, so like it's...
Axon's
Yeah.
awake. Axon, he doesn't sleep in that late. I imagine Jim Jr. is probably, I don't know if there's like some ads that I have to knock out in the morning, like if I need to record a few things, but I imagine I'm half-heartedly doing that while also going through like, I've been very, obsessed isn't the right word, but like going over all of the reports from what happened on the previous, like all of the information that they currently have on the Exos that we ran into. I've been trying to study.
Okay, I will say that there, the information will be available. A lot of it is generalized. A lot of the reports you have are just like sightings, specific sightings. There isn't much in terms of actual study, which kind of sets off a little alarm bell with a flag in your head. Like, this is just all the sightings. Where can I find anything on that cube? I thought, it's a little worrying.
And it's like he's not looking for anything like mechanical wise in game. He's very much treating it like he did with Cosmo Brawl, where he's essentially like studying tapes of the opposition. So like as much as there is recorded evidence, he's trying to look for like movement patterns from these things, like how they get around, because it's obviously their movement was fucking weird as hell too. There was a whale that could just phase through the ground.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just him waking up early in the morning is just him like shuffling through videos while he half-heartedly like shills for like some fucking energy drink as Jim Jr. holds like a mic up to him.
I think he's like, the energy's low. You know what we're gonna do? I think we need you really wanted to sell that you're kind of trying to open yourself up to the military, right? And opening yourself up to your team. I think we need some vulnerability. Let's take a break from the ads. How about we do like a little vlog, right? Like you're just waking up and you're in military life and it's a little hard, and do you get the yarn I'm spinning here, bud?
No, I get it. I was really this isn't just like a yarn you could like totally like sew yourself in post or something with the normal videos of me. There's like some active involvement here.
Well, I'm just saying, you seem to really respond well to the idea that you're not trying to be this, bad boy anymore. I'm just thinking, if we get just a little bit of you being like, being yourself,
I don't so much give a shit about that. That was always what they had me do, which again, I feel like is harder to market given the company that I'm now in, as me in that position.
Well, no, I mean, I'm saying we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work according to the specifications you're throwing at me. I'm just saying if we want to make this a good transition to a less performative angle, we're gonna need you to give us a little bit of mushy, you know? We gotta get people to care about you, and it's sort of like, okay, yeah, I can see why this is bad, and like, why this isn't entirely perfect.
Okay, sure. Here, I got an idea. I don't have anything prepared line-wise yet for whatever overlay like audio you want to fucking put in, but let's do this. And then Axon will, he'll use his fucking what's the name for it? The info skin that he's got to change his appearance, and he'll do like messy. He'll like make his hair like it deliberately bedhead and like put some makeup to look like bags under his eyes, essentially. And he'll just do some shots of like pretending to wake up looking like shit. Or like,
great. 3, 2, 1. All right. Okay, good. Stop. And then like he goes into a different angle, and then like, all right. Keep going. You go into the bathroom. And now it's less. Now he's being less sleazy and sort of like nonchalant, and now he looks like just kind of razor focused, like
okay.
in
this is his new passion project. This is what's gonna put Jimmy Jr. on the map.
No, I think it's just more like he's just doing it for the love of the work, you know. Like there is a part of him that is like keeping his finger on the pulse, but like he is also just very good at his job.
Okay.
So like it's not like he's super like just tonal shift into like Grandmaster, but he's just sort of like, you know, silent for the first time in like fucking ever, because he's in his element.
I think that's been a lot of Axon and his relationship up to this point, is Axon trying to get a level of sleaze off of him to determine just how bad like how committed, how into the work he is versus just how much of like for
it's hard
like,
to
yeah. I think you get what I'm saying.
Yeah. It's that is itself is a little hard to read, because it's not like he's all over the map. It's like he's just one thing. He's like that sleazeball 1 second, and it's like, So cool. You know, if you get to bring me along for missions, I did some camera recording, you know, in some battles way back, you know.
Really?
Yeah.
How front line were those battles? Or your position in them?
Oh well, you know, there was this documentary on Kaladin, you know, and they have this weird tradition, you know. They keep a whole bunch of people in the dock about space age civilizations, and they keep these people focused into their own, you know, tribal groups, right? And then when they do battle, because, you know, they have a tradition of warfare, they come in like gods, right? They call themselves gods. They descend from the heavens and choose a couple of them and just lift them up. And there's a little documentary on that. Yeah, I was on the ground. I had to like get in like a ghillie suit and like, you know, climb up a fucking tree and just watch these people go at it with war axes and battle axes and stuff, you know.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna tell you what to do. Well, I'm not gonna tell you what to risk with your life here. You're more than welcome to come. Oh my god, the cat.
The cat's great.
I mean, there was a big fucking meatball that like took a big old corrosive bite out of my mech. So I don't know how close you want to get, but
you know what I was gonna say. You're on like a giant death machine. Maybe get me one of those things. Oh, hold on.
Get you a giant death machine.
Get me a giant death machine.
Sure.
All right. Like, I don't even need to fight. I can just get in this fucking robot and like raise up a giant camera. It'd be so cool. It'd be so cool. And like the camera would be so large, you could do so much like in the middle of capture. It'd be, you know.
Yep.
I could like.
I'm sure there's like no line or wait for those things or like verification process. Maybe.
Yeah, you got hangers full of these things. I've been walking around. You got hangers full of these things. You got like those frame jockeys. Like going to town on them like they're like production line or something. So I don't know what's up with this. You know what? I think the intercom goes off. Is it?
I'll ask. When the time feels right. Maybe one of them has like a crane on it you could be operating from. I don't know that they would let you. Have you piloted a mech before?
It should be too different from some of those like hovercrafts or those hover hogs, on the desert planet of Dukas 2. The intercom goes off and he's like, you know what?
Are hover hogs on Dukas 2 a real thing, or is he bullshitting me?
It's probably bullshitting because I don't want a world in my setting to be called Dukas 2.
Thaddeus has probably never piloted one either before hijacking the mech that he got. So maybe there's so many like autopilot programming and so much autopilot programming into these mechs that you really don't really have to know how to pilot them too much to get inside of some of them.
Or just maybe you faked it till you made it. At first it was kind of hard luck, and now you've gotten pretty okay with it.
That's also possible.
That's up to you. We can I'm also down for that too. If there's just a little bit more autopilot. So okay, so yeah, Axon, you get ready. You go out. Telva, anything from you on your morning or intercom?
Yeah, I've probably been awkwardly asking Sean like how he's doing and stuff, just to try and like break the ice. And
Sean has not answered. Sean has answered nothing. You have not seen him.
I will say, actually, Sean, if it's okay with you, I would love that you get ready normally and you just get out the door, and then you're walking to the meeting room, and then Sean Blake is just right there, and then you kind of like, it's just awkward for a couple seconds, and then you start up your conversation.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, and yourself?
I have been making jello.
Why?
Stress.
Does
Goodbye.
that stress gel help with headaches?
Actually, I did say at some
Like,
point.
Sean looks at Papa and says, are you still hungover?
Not quite. I just feel a little tired.
Okay, and then I will take out a little band that I have that looks kind of like the crystalline little partially see-through pink bracelet, and pass it over to you. It is for keeping you awake.
Thank you.
And I go like this, and it kind of just like stretches abnormally and goes around your wrist, and then kind of onto it, and you feel fucking alert. That I used a stim.
Right around this time, you hear, and then you see my character just sort of phase in. He used the stealth suit and used invisibility and snuck past everyone, and and then he just sort of appears and is like, "Hey."
I punch him.
Oh. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, he goes, "Hey," and then you just take a swing at him. No, that's perfect.
No, it's odd. It's the reaction is like extremely fast and like instantaneous, but there's almost no weight behind the punch, so you're just like, what the fuck?
Just like sock me in the arm or something. Hey, what was that for?
I thought I was being okay.
Sorry, I was just testing out my stealth suit. Which is bullshit because he always enters rooms that way. It's like expected at this point. That's kind of another cheesy thing about that. Yes.
5 dozen other stealth suit checks you've run in the last 2 days.
I excuse me, Sean, animal, you like animal?
Why?
Okay, sorry.
No, I'm curious as to why you are inquiring if I enjoy animals. I am trying to be very clear because I'm aware.
Why
we
do you
have-
like the dog or the cat? Or the snake?
I am. Are you asking if I have a pet?
No.
Okay.
Dog, snake, or cat?
I haven't had any real interactions with any of them, so I don't know.
He checks off a thing on a clipboard and will at another point go ask the rest of the crew.
Oh, I get what where you're going with that. That's so cool. Please keep going. I think you guys will probably figure it out in a second.
Sorry, she was done. She was done.
That chunker had somewhere else to be.
She doesn't even bite hard enough to even leave divots. It's just like, no, I'm done.
Oh.
It's like my.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say I made the mistake of wrestling with my puppy too much when she was really young, in terms of like getting her to bite onto me and stuff. And now that's what she does. Anytime she wants to play with me, it just latches onto me like a monster. I'm like, it's great. It's funny.
I haven't had a cat in a long time. My dog jumps a lot. He doesn't bite me, but he jumps and he tackles me with his paws on my stomach. So it's just
It's a hug. It's a doggy hug.
It's a doggy hug.
She likes to jump on my chest when I'm asleep when she feels that she needs to alert me to something.
I don't like it. Okay, so you ask the same thing everyone else. Sorry, go ahead.
Maybe not now, but at another point. But first, I kind of get distracted and say, "Where is Papdu?"
They were with you the entire time, I think, right?
Oh.
Right, Pep? Yeah. They're just...
Sean just points at the over-caffeinated Papadu.
I literally...
Everything is fast.
I literally just gave you a thing.
Everything is so fast now.
That's definitely my character.
The door to the meeting room stands open. And Arthur kind of is at the front. Good evening. Come in. Good morning. Wow. I am it's been a long night for me, actually. Come on in. Get to the point. He leads all of you into a slightly claustrophobic room, as there appears to be 2 other people in the room with you and Arthur. Arthur takes his place at one end of the table with Dorian, and a woman I don't think you've met before. She is sort of dirty, dirt blonde, dirty blonde hair, wrapped in like a ponytail. She's covered in several chemical burns on her cheeks and forehead. There are burns on a lab coat, and she has glasses that are kind of too big for her. That's about as much as you guys can really kind of figure to put an image to her. As Arthur sits down, he motions all of you to sit.
Sean takes the spot that has back to the corner.
Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Then I believe that leaves us with I don't know what that leaves us with, actually. Everyone takes their seats.
Yes.
Okay, cool. So Arthur, I think this is good music for this, just sort of just ambient of the ship. then we have here. So Dorian, so Arthur, as Arthur, as you guys sit down, kind of just sort of smiles warmly. He actually offers Talva a larger metallic chair that appears to be sort of accommodating for Gar, because most Gar,
Hand rests. Oh, that's the good shit.
yeah, because it's meant to support the weight of Gar, and like traditionally some Gar are smaller, some Gar are bigger, but mostly most subspecies of Gar are large enough that they will break normal chairs. It's just a fact of life. Humans, much different body type than the Gar, and there are particular people to be aware of. Thank you all for coming. How was your rest? Everyone get some time off?
Yes.
I don't sleep.
Oh my gosh.
You really should. That 2 days was meant so you could recover from.
My mind is always planning tactical. My mind is always tactically planning.
Sure. Thank you, Captain Brink.
I did nothing but sleep.
I was actually concerned about that. I was about to knock on your door, but
Where does your preference lie? You want me to sleep? You want them to stop sleeping? Make up your damn mind.
Dorian's sister gives a smirk and looks.
Sean is trying not to like laugh right now.
Dorian's just smiles at Arthur and is like, "He's right, Major. It appears you need to get your language in order." And Arthur's just like, "You know what? I'm glad you're thinking tactically. That's important. We have quite the mission ahead of us. So, I'm glad all of you have gotten a small reprieve, but now we have work to do. I want to start by talking out loud. I've delved into some of your reports, but I want to hear from all of you collectively about your experience with the exotic organisms. It's actually truly quite rare that there are any people left alive following an exo attack at that scale. There are smaller exo attacks, of course, but this was a complete planetary event. So it's important that we record down first-hand witness account, both written and verbally.
Are we supposed to talk right now?
Yes. I can just go one at a time. If some of you would like to exit, if you prefer private discussion.
Well, we got really stressed, and then there were bugs and a giant troop in the sky, and we ran, and we fought things, and then we ran, and then we killed things, and then we left.
All right.
Sean
As I
reaches into his pocket and pulls out a small like key tab sort of thing, like a USB drive sort of thing.
Mhm.
Puts it down, slides across. My full report, oral and handwritten, and just slides it across the table.
takes it. I already have your written, which was why. Okay, oral. If that's how you prefer to do things, that is perfectly fine.
My report is that Go ahead.
It's how I have previously done things, but I can adapt as needed.
The only report I have is that I completely and utterly defeated that thing.
No, you didn't.
Killed it in one shot. The biggest one. That was me that killed that.
That is not
No,
entirely.
that was the
The one-
giant.
The one that literally got away, and everybody saw that happen.
I killed the shit out of it.
You did not
I'm
kill.
pretty sure I saw it get away.
Well, I made it run.
You
Wouldn't
killed.
have, it wouldn't have ran if I wouldn't have shot it. Whatever.
Wasn't that like? I thought it was the outlaw people. Weren't they the ones that made it run?
The men of dragoons. The men of dragoons, yes. We also talked to Corporal Sumiarada, who is also present on the Canopy of Joy due to some of your reports, which went into detail on her involvement. We did see that she was a potential asset, and she's undergoing training for pilot exams. So that is one good thing that came out of a very, very tragic and bad event. That being said, yes, as you said, the men at Dragoons were responsible for attacking this creature and fending it off. They have a surprisingly advanced amount of frame technology on their hands, which means they could be financed by a higher patron, higher organization we're not yet aware of, which is slightly worrying.
Probably a megacorp or something.
It's interesting you say that. I wanted to bring up, perhaps in the start of our briefing, for those who have traveled from Alliance proper, Captain Brink, Axon Dermont, how aware are you of the history of our involvement with the Meda Cluster?
How aware am I of their involvement of the Meda Cluster? Can I make a roll on that?
You can try. I will also say you are from a city planet, and
Yeah,
you
I'm
are
from like
kind
the
of,
slums though, so if that changes anything.
you know that there was a war. I'm not sure how much you would know about like very big specific the geopolitical stuff. Yeah, yes, Talva.
I was gonna say something, but there wouldn't be like newspapers just lying about in this world, would there?
There would be like I think analog paper is optional at this point, perhaps even a luxury. A lot of it is based on off of like digital displays and like things you could find around around cities. Yes, Sean. You're muted.
Sorry, I was answering questions to somebody. I was trying to remember what Leland's character's name was.
Oh yes, I did have the question though, but I may have forgotten it. So
you were like how like kind of make a roll and then like how aware would I have been of?
Oh. Yes, that reminds me. Okay, I am going to like basically inside my helmet. I imagine I have some sort of digital interface. I'm gonna like essentially just go on like galactic Wikipedia and like try and read it as quickly as I can, because I'm sure Thaddeus would know more than me. So I'm just gonna go like and just paraphrase a Wikipedia article, like
Okay.
In my cool Thaddeus voice.
All right, so you could paraphrase that like the Meda Blitz was a 2-year long war in a foreign empire territory known as the Fairland Hegemony and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It was fought primarily by rebel forces within that region. Specifically, I think I called them the Iron Talon. And there are probably others that are linked in the Shikipedia, or Shikipedia. I'm gonna call it Shikipedia on the extranet. And so you will go through like this display on your thing, and you kind of give this sort of generalized, but like you at least give something. It's very generalized. Like there was a war, kind of with these allied forces, stuff like that. Would that make sense?
Yeah,
Or-
no, that's perfect. And my character even like kind of, it's like almost obvious he's reading a Shika whatever pedia article, whatever he said. But also this is like, luckily Thaddeus Brink had a lot of like biographies and autobiographies written about him, or he like wrote some biographies, had a autobiography written about him, stuff like that. And so that's actually the only reason why my character is able to like kind of keep the act up, because I just like skim the autobiography or biography real quick and try and like keep up with it.
That's a good point. I will say Captain Brink was not involved in the Meta Blitz, so you're comfortable with the generalization. You would know that Captain Brink was reassigned to the 105th after the 105th did its tour in the cluster during the Blitz. Does that
Gotcha.
make- Okay, cool. So you just say all that to
Yeah, just poorly, even to the point of it being obvious faked information.
yes, yes, Talva, Katie.
Yeah. Okay. So, I forgot to mention, but this entire time, Talva has been staring like worriedly at Thaddeus, like just kind of like, oh shit, yes, just like worried, just very like.
About his lack of knowledge, or about like his behavior.
No, about something else. Just this entire time, ever since the conversation started,
yes.
she's just been looking at him like a worried mom. Like, oh,
Yeah, yes, okay. And then so so Arthur is just sort of like, all right.
I would say it's safe to assume I don't know specifics.
Yeah, you have a lot. You had a lot on your plate. You heard the war.
I say that out loud.
Oh, okay. Like,
I would just plan on filling me in on the relevant details.
great, perfect. Thank you for your honesty. I don't expect some of you who aren't from the region to know about these things. However, I know.
I'm an expert.
I know. In various ways that Talva, Paptu, Blake, some of you have more experience with the Blitz than others, and about the Meda Cluster. So if there's anything you would like to add to them before I give something very very summarized to get to a point, about the Mana Dragoons. This is all leading up to the Mana Dragoons because it's a little important that you know about some of the history of this little territory of free space. Okay. Then if there's nothing you guys, the three of you want to add.
Summarization was succinct enough.
Oh, what?
The summarization was succinct enough.
Ah, okay. Well, there is. It's important about the Blitz that you understand that we were fighting the Blitz longer than it was officially known. We had hands in the honeypot, right? When we first discovered the Phalan hegemony even existed, we were trying to get out of the Orion arm so we could get to the rest of the galaxy. And the Meda Cluster is our gateway to the rest of the galaxy, right? There's this little...
This is not Sean's face right now. He has a much better poker.
Right. So, we had interests in the cluster before the Blitz even officially began. But, we bungled the last battle, the Blitz. The Azeret estate was supposed to be our key to negotiating a complete and total surrender, unconditional surrender. But they were killed during the battle, right? Some call it a tragedy, and others who have witnessed the depravity of the United States call it justice. I, for one, believe that the Meda compact that keeps our empires from fighting couldn't have happened without their deaths. All right, so there are wins and loses in this, but we are living in a cluster that has had little support from interspace since the victory 2 years ago. Meant Dragoons formed from collective of people who are dissenters and secessionists from the Alliance. All right, that's as much as you need to know. They have good intentions, but fundamentally a part of their rhetoric when helping citizens of the Alliance with exos and pirates and other things is, we are doing this because interspace cannot. So start thinking about how you want interspace and the Alliance involved in your own local affairs. Does that make sense? Any questions? Anything to add or anything?
It explains a lot.
It does explain a lot because we were spread thin and we didn't do we didn't do our jobs. I was the one that had to pitch this idea because our official mission is to disarm the Meda Dragoons. Official. And keep the peace and Meda Cluster. That's our official mission. But I've been given leave to perform that mission in any way that I see fit. And I think all of you can agree that we do not want to engage the Dragoons in combat, both from a moral and tactical standpoint.
You're not at their level.
We are not at their level, not yet. We need to get you better license. We need to get you better equipment. Most importantly, we need to show the cluster and the Dragoons that interspace, however long it may take, keeps its promise to protect the people. So, our unofficial mission is to bring order to the Meda Cluster and give the Dragoons no reason to continue arming themselves, grow in numbers. Give them no reason to. Negotiate with them, tell them that we are working. And however popular their opinion is in the Meda Cluster, it will deteriorate with this in mind. I'm open to any suggestions, any just anything. Just if you have anything you want to ask about this particular strategy. This is hard.
It's a strategy that values peace over more death. It's better than the alternative.
If we can preserve lives, then it's likely a good option, I say.
Good. I was sure that you would agree. And
Just
Arthur
to clarify, those, I know it's getting, I assume we'll get to these things, but those weird ass things that we fought, those aren't native to this cluster, right? That we know of? Are they new? Because it seems like with that threat ongoing, that's gonna pretty significantly interfere with this objective. As long as they can continue to provide support against those things.
Talva, Patu, have you ever seen exos in years before this one? You are both native to the cluster and are some of its native people.
Well, as a traveler, I've seen one or two in my time.
All right, that makes sense. I think there are all sorts of things that you can see in a galaxy like this one if you travel far enough.
The outer colonies tell stories of exos.
I would like to say that many reports have shown that they have only been arriving relatively recently. But perhaps they've always existed, but we don't know why they're appearing more frequently now. Talva?
if we could get more people involved, not necessarily in the fighting, but in the research, they might both help us, them, and create. And with her four hands, she goes like this. Link.
You see the woman in the lab coat kind of this little like pessimistic snicker like Arthur just like kind of just tosses out like an open glare at the doctor. I was actually going to talk to you about this part. Our job actually gets harder. Dr. Max, can you how about you take us away on this since you seem so invested? And the woman just sort of fixes her glasses. She's been typing on her Omni-Hook this entire time, taking notes maybe, or just not really paying attention. There's this little cute floating robot on her shoulder that also might just be recording the notes for her. But Dr. Maddox stands up and like, I would be very happy to help illuminate them, Major.
May I raise my hand and just say, may I hold that little robot, please?
And Jesus looks at the robot. Well, Pam? And Pam's like, it would be my pleasure to help you.
That's my mother's name.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, don't apologize. I love it. I
Pam,
think it's funny.
Pam just kind of rests on your hand and is sort of like, I don't know how this helps you, but I'm glad I can be of service in any way.
I just start to like gently pat it.
Yes, this is nice. This is nice. Yes. And Dr. Max is like, okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Dr. Amy Maddox. I have 3 doctorates. Advanced simulated learning does wonders if you can afford it. I'm the primary researcher here on the Canopy of Joy. If you were to ask me what is an exo, I couldn't fucking tell you. Because I have... You love what?
I love this thing.
Oh, yes, Pam is wonderful. Back to my tirade here. We don't have research on exos because we are being stopped by a fucking patent. We are being fucked over by corporations.
Just cut right through the red tape. Can't you just cut right through the red tape and say it's like a national defense thing or something? I don't know. Isn't that what you people do? Or galactic defense?
I'm getting to that, Captain. Interrupt me one more time. See what fucking happens. I have a molecular deconstruction beam in my lab right now. I'm working on it.
I don't even know what the hell that means.
It means I will strip you apart atom by atom.
Damn, that's a little much. I'll go back to listening to my music in my helmet.
Yes, you best procrastinate and not pay attention to a briefing. Okay.
Yes, Sean is laughing now.
Okay. Right. Okay. So being back to it. Where was I? Being fucked over by a patent. Yes. So we have interspace, but we also have SERMC, Science Research Military Conglomerate. They are a corporate arm of the Federal Alliance, and they handle many different things involving research and science. They also build colonies, and they have decided that as many, if not most, of the colonies that are being built by humans in the cluster have these exo sightings, that all sites and samples of exos belong to their research team. I cannot request it. They have denied me. We have acquired warrants in federal courts. They have found a way around that as well. It is a big problem because samples are hard to come by. We scoured.
to tell them?
So, do we have to tell them? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Do we have to tell
Arthur speaks up. We have a creative solution that will respond to this. Actually, I'm glad you asked that though. And Amy's like, I would have, but they also have fleets and a lot of advanced technology that I don't even think Interspace has. So, you know, I don't think we want to push the subject that far. All right, but samples are also hard to come by as is because these things phase out of reality as soon as you kill them. So,
Hey, don't split me up into atom
Well, wait.
parts. But I got a suggestion. I'm no scientist or nothing, but can't you make some kind of box that like traps things in and doesn't let it phase out? I don't know, some sort of quantum box. I don't know shit about
box?
science.
that puts things in the box. Okay. Oh, it's
I
on
mean-
site, and she's about to leave, and like Arthur's like,
Oh.
Doctor, it's guys, excuse her behavior. It has been a rough
Doc-
couple of months.
Yeah, she's pretty much an asshole.
Is
I will
there, like,
destroy you.
is there a mute function on your helmet? Like for us?
Is there actually a mute function? Because Sean will lean over and mute him.
Who we muting? Why would we mute the scientist?
Let's say, oh wait, yes, Talva. One, Talva. You're muted.
Excuse me. Do we know if perhaps if they are being held by something, if they can phase out? Has it been tested?
We've attempted, and like she's calming down now. We've attempted several methods. A lot of the danger is that they're also very hard to contain. They're very dangerous to be kept alive. Sometimes we see them phase out of their cages, right? Just wrought iron steel, you know, electric laser on the iron. We rig the cages to explode if there's a rupture. No, just phase out. They gobbled a couple of my assistants up. That was a hard thing. Got to use my molecular construction beam. That small advantage to that unfortunate circumstance. We are working on a solution. We know that there is probably something we could do involving
I think. Oh, sorry. If I could work with your team, because I have studied biology and could work with people such as you. So maybe afterwards.
I would love to have an additional member on our team. Thank you very much, Talva. Was it Talva?
Yes.
Of course. Okay. Thank you. So you were going to say something, Pat Axon?
Doctor, I know you just mentioned they phase out when they die, and some other times when they can phase when they're in the cages. At least the ones that we encountered didn't seem to phase right when we killed them. It was more when big cube guy, whatever the name they've given it, wasn't. Am I remembering wrong? Wasn't it when the cube left that everything else disappeared with it?
There's a little like intrigue that you arise in her. Now that's an interesting point because we haven't actually been able to get to many petrichor sites. Petrichor sightings occur many times on colonies that belong to CERMC. They usually lock it down very quickly. That being said, if we were to be able to collect samples during a petrichor sighting and it doesn't leave, then we could perhaps try to create a containment field that keeps the tissue permanent. Now that's an interesting idea. I think we can work on that, but there's a lot we've tried, is what I'm trying to reply with. I would like to explore that. That's a very good idea. Axon, that's your name, Axon. I totally read all of your dossiers. I am totally not misremembering. I'm gonna go take a nap. I think I'm done. And Arthur's just like, yeah, you're done. It's okay. You're dismissed, Dr. Maddox. It's been a rough couple of months. We came up with our current idea for moving forward with research a little bit last night. All right. So right now we have an operation in the works called Operation Keep Away. Operation Keep Away is designed to create circumstances in which research and samples that we find in the middle of ops either aren't noted or came naturally from surveillance and reconnaissance. Right? Okay. But these are very specific circumstances, and fortunately for us, CERMC hasn't been able to lock down all sites. Unfortunately, other people have. All right?
Have you
But
considered reaching out to the various Ravani travelers?
it's difficult because they are traveling and they don't have contacts. And Dorian stands up a little bit. There are many nomadic blocks, yes, and there are some that do stay on planet in colonies. But I wouldn't say they are unreliable, but exo sightings are harder to reckon with different people in different organizations. I think that many flocks, as I've tried to reach out, I have many different informants who have Ravoni connections. The Ravoni have either declined to help or have not given us many things so far. However, there is something that was part of our Operation Keep Away that was scouted out by a Ravoni flock. So in short, there has been one piece of fruitful information, but some are not very interested in cooperation. Not to say that they are unreliable. It's just many just do not seem interested in some like to call it scabbing. Working with interspace, they call it scabbing. Called one of my informants a scab. It's don't know what that means.
It's actually an old human term dealing with unions. People who walked across the union lines.
Oh yeah, yes.
They've picked up on a lot of old Earth language.
I think yes, scabbing. Yes, okay, it's occurring to me now. Small note: there's some things, some periods of history, some items from Earth, or as we call it, Terra Null. But as Earth does not technically exist anymore. Like the planet still exists, but no one's on it because it's radioactive wasteland. Most everyone would know. Some things did not survive the period of travel humans did to plant the seeds that would be the Federal Alliance. It was called the Cadian Wars. A alien species, alien empire, created a hitchgate on the Sol system, invaded Earth. Earth launched nukes to deactivate these ships, this fleet, turning Earth into nuclear winter. But they got to use the ship. They found a way to reactivate those ships and take them into space. I'll write in a cheat sheet, but that's as much as you need to know right now. Now, back to it. Dorian's like, okay, good, all right. That's good to know that they have adapted. And Arthur's like, all right, well, aside from our current roadblocks with people, let's look at some of our primary targets involving major exo creatures. Go ahead. Pat.
Dr. Maddox was leaving, you said?
Dr. Max has left. She hurried out to go take a nap.
I was just gonna bring up. I know she could use a rest, but did anybody get her the signal with the bugs from the planet we were just on?
I got my report.
Yeah, I think multiple of us would have at least sent it along.
Yeah, she seems like the person to do something about
sure to
that.
include like radio frequencies it was resonating on. The bugs were broadcasting on.
Yeah.
Pam is still in Paptu's hand.
Aww.
Just gonna keep petting it and just looking around and like listening.
Are you referring to radio frequencies from dossiers on Spare Brigade members? And then it's like, I believe Dr. Maddox had identified that this radio frequency belonged specifically to the bugs, but was only alarming when the bugs stopped chirping. Does that make sense?
I mean that
It's the quiet before a storm.
that fits with our experience. I didn't know if everybody has been so bereft of samples and new information. I didn't know if this filled in any pieces.
According to Dr. Maddox's notes, Dr. Maddox looked extensively into the history of radio frequencies and bug wings to attempt to find a correlation between those elements and the exotic organisms. Unfortunately, he was not able to come up with much other than that it was able to determine when the bugs had gone silent, meaning that the exos had arrived.
Have we any manner of gathering the bugs themselves, so we may have an early warning system?
Bandy colonists are currently attempting to reconstruct and perhaps locate more samples, as requested by Interspace Major Arthur King.
We do really need those bugs. They could be very helpful.
Arthur's nods like, I made the request. If they find any, we could attempt to clone them and implement them in certain sites just to determine how effective it could be.
Like the whole thing with put a chip in a cockroach and stuff, and just all wired up in a little cage.
You know what this is? This is a canary. We're trying to find our canary.
Yes, which I think Arthur is interested in, but he's just saying we just have to find the bugs. I mean, there are plenty of dead subjects that we could use genetic tissue from, and we could potentially clone them through other species of an insectoid, or flash clone them, but that's also expensive, and we are also, I don't think we possess
Collecting samples of the bugs might not conflict with the issues of collecting samples of exos, correct?
It's technically not. They're bugs on
Could
Bandy's time.
devote a small part of the science team towards using the radio frequency, which should be playing now that the exos are gone, to track down live bugs on the planet.
You make a very good point. I guess we just don't have Corporal TV was with TV Williams, right? That was the man that made that discovery. I suppose that wasn't made aware of to other survivors. We can forward that information to them very quickly.
Mhm.
Um, we're gonna we have 5 more minutes before we're gonna take a break. So I think, what can I say in this amount of time? You know what? I think I'll just quickly. Okay, so Arthur's like, well, we also have we have one more class 3 exo, right? We designated a Petrichor as a class 3, which means a world-ending planetary event, potentially world-ending. Most worlds don't end, but they do end up very damaged and distraught. But we have Petrichor. We've designated that as PT1. And he just kind of clicks the table, and there's a holographic display showing just kind of a 3D image of the cube and lightning crackling. And we've been able to confirm, thankfully, some of its abilities as a let's see here. Oh, that's the wrong one. Here we go. Sorry. It arrives on planets in a way similar to what you might have seen on Bandy Prime, a storm that covers most of a planet's surface, with the Petrichor being located at its apex on one of the planet's poles. In addition to launching projectiles in appearance and motion akin to lightning, it can manipulate the density of gravity and, as you probably felt, tear objects from the ground. It is the most dangerous exo we have to date, even next to the other other class 3 that we have on record. But you're not aware of PT2, and he clicks it, and this is an artist's rendering. It's not 3D, which means that something is different with this one. PT2 is known as Sundog. And Sundog is a class 3 exo that is described, as he points to it, as a ring surrounding a bright light. This bright light is associated is described to be as intense as a second sun. So it has a large luminous sun as its center, perhaps small sun, if it visits planets at the scale of Petrichor. And Sundog is primarily a witness, as far as we can tell, but it does attack certain sites. But its very presence destroys technology, which is a problem because we can't record footage of Sundog. There appears to be a fierce electromagnetic aura field around Sundog. And Sundog is constantly emitting it like a solar flare. So not only is it capable of scorching and destroying land, all technology fizzes out or is blasted. And like I said, we have nothing on that. But we have some missions that could get us to know a little bit more about it, as well as Petrichor. And we're gonna leave on that not hangover, cliffhanger. We're gonna leave on that hangover.
Whoa.
We're gonna leave on that cliffhanger.
I just got over mine, not another one.
I know, right?
We'll take a break for 10 minutes. Everyone gets some water, bathroom, food, anything, everything. And then we'll go into our next stage of the briefing, which is mission selection. Yeah. All of you are doomed, whichever choice you make. So we'll see y'all in 10 minutes. What can I say? This has been so illuminating so far. I'm very glad I haven't just been doing exposition, just kind of keeping a dialogue with all you. I was very worried about that for a second. Alrighty, so we will see you all in the interim. Goodbye.
Be right back.
Bye. And we're back. We're back. Okay. So cool. So we are still in the middle of our briefing room talking about being stopped by patents and being worried about militias and this and that and this and that. So it's a very complicated mission as you've heard so far. Just leaving room for everyone to ask questions and jump in and make suggestions. And so far, you guys have come up with some really cool stuff. But now he has kind of kept you guys set down, and Arthur is just sort of like, well, okay. So where you come in, and this is the reason why you have your own dorms, your own rooms, really. The reason why you are becoming quickly more qualified and getting license levels at a faster rate is you are our mobile deployment team, right? You are our special ops. Not in the sense of spec ops, but you are, in effect, our deployment team for missions. A lot of the 105th is dedicated to protecting this super carrier, and this super carrier goes for small-scale skirmishes with pirates and other things. That's why we've been sent. But you are a mobile deployment team, and we are allocating funds for you to go out to planets and acquire samples from these sites at almost any cost. All right. So we have here Petrichor and Sundog. The Ravone, as Dorian reported, didn't necessarily catch a sighting of Petrichor itself, but they did catch some interesting activity, and Dorian kind of takes over. We have interesting news. There is a planet known as Drosnis 8. The Drosnis system is relatively not remote, far off from the rest of the Meda Cluster in populated segments. Drosnis 8 is a relay planet. There's a relay node. It cannot support anything else but continue to bounce extranet signal to other parts of the cluster. And the Ravone, passing by the planet, and noticed that hegemony ships had finished depositing orbital defense nets across the planet, and that there was a persistent storm over the atmosphere of Drosnis 8. We attempted to do a little more investigating. Petrichor is not present, but at some point it was, and persistent storm is a result. Relay Note has a small team of people that operated, and they are no longer responding to Alliance signals. It also belongs to Cermsey, but that is perhaps it doesn't matter at this point because no one has been sent to fight these hegemony holdouts. All right, so that is one idea. All right, these hegemony holdouts, they appear to be doing research of their own. If you were to go to the planet, you could steal their data, and it would be technically espionage against the enemy. Right? And Arthur's like, it was actually very clever. Thank you, Dorian. You were the one that you were the one that kind of found a way to brand this deployment op. Some things to consider. Stealth is important, but the most important thing is that data gets sent through the relay node to the Canopy of Joy. All right, so however you choose to get to that relay node is up to you. We're gonna leave that up to you and your team, but we will be ready to receive a signal. It will be a difficult operation. They will have protocol that might get in the way of a successful transmission of the data. And as soon as that transmission goes off, you need to get out of there. It is fortified. They fortified a dead planet. I don't like that. So it means that they might have more boots on the ground than we thought, or this surge of activity in remaining Pagamru forces is a sign of something else. I don't know why they've settled themselves on a planet that has, well, Drosnus 8. It is barren, dark ice and stone. A seismic event tore a hole in its outer crust, right? So it is sunk in for the most part. So the only place that they could really build a structure, a relay node, was at one of its poles. Happens to be short.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is the structure nearby this chasm you described? The rift?
The storm's origin is a little unclear, but I would say that the storm itself was positioned in terms of one pole of this planet. One pole does contain the deepest point of this chasm, and this chasm runs across the entire planet. It is a gaping wound. But
perhaps continue. Sorry.
No, I'm just finishing answering your question. The petrichor sighting could have been at that pool where the deepest point of that wound was, right?
I was just considering the idea that perhaps there's some mineral content that we don't know about deep within the planet that's valuable to them.
The seismic event was it was in geographical terms recent, but recent is different for us. If the planet had avoided the scrutiny of the hegemony and Cermsea, I would be surprised, but there could be something there. A better question probably is also, why did Petrichor appear there? Small team, relay node. Many of these settings are on colonies. I don't know exactly why it was visited in the first place.
Have you been... Is the Petrichor... I guess two questions. The Petrichor, is its arrival... Has there been any intention behind it that we've been able to discern?
With the Sundog, it is a little unclear because many sightings are just passive. And as far as many witnesses are, there are many witnesses of Sundog from these events, because it doesn't target people and things. But the Petrichor, we saw what it did to Panty Prime. It was almost deliberate. Lifted things from the ground after, I believe some of the survivors said that you destroyed a particular exo that caused it to lift you up. Is that right?
Yes.
So I am to assume that the Petrichor might either be smarter than Sundog, or Sundog has a different intention. But be that as it may, Petrichor did not target the relay node and destroy it. Petrichor did not target the humans present. So it's and Arthur's like, good.
I wasn't sure if there was any kind of pattern that had been discerned into things that attracted the petrichor. Because when the dragoons showed up, they made it seem like the petrichor was forced to jump to us from their engagement with it.
In all fairness, that was them being able to damage the creature, the thing. I don't know what it is. We are describing it as a creature when it could just be a thing.
With what I have experienced, this may sound weird, but these large entities may be like bodies, and these exos might be like antibodies. It seems very, uncontrolled, but controlled subconsciously, maybe. I'm not very sure.
Arthur nods. There might be something to that, and I think the expert of a biologist like yourself could be valuable to Dr. Maddox, who is very predicated on physics and quantum physics. I will say, while this discussion of its behavior is interesting, we also have to remember that this thing isn't from our reality. And if we put definitions like antibodies and organs and organisms on this thing, we are weakening our own chance to understand it.
That's actually the point I tried to make by trying to figure out, suggesting there might be a reason why it was at that planet. We talked about all of the destruction it caused, but that just may be its state of being. It doesn't mean it was after anything, right?
It's hard to tell. I mean, because it leaves such a trail of destruction. We don't know what they could have taken, what they could have wanted. At least with Sundog, it appeared, it lingered, seemed to focus on different parts of planets, but Petrichor itself, it only really uses lightning in certain circumstances. Fighting with the Dragoons was one of them. Another reason why the Dragoons might not be as helpful as they intend could also just be that they're driving it to greater levels of destruction by attacking it. If all they did was fight off the exos on the planet's surface, the surface of planets, that's one thing. But they're attacking the creature proper, and they forced it to move and destroy another planet. That's not to say that what they're doing isn't bad. We just have to get more research on these things, and the only way we can do that is sadly stealing it from very bad people. So
I apologize. I didn't mean to bog us down in a discussion of so many hypotheticals. My other question was, fortifying this planet, did they set up shop there before or after the Petrichor showed up?
It was honestly there. We lost transmission with the relay team relatively recently. However, that is in concordance with that sighting. It was reported. That sighting was reported by the relay team of the Petrichor, but the Ravone were the ones that noticed the holdouts occupying the planet itself.
Got it. So the holdouts were on the planet prior to that thing showing up. They didn't just come and set up shop to learn more about what it did.
It looks like the opposite, that they did arrive after the Petrichor sighting and the storm that is now persistent over the planet. Does that make sense? That the relay team The Drosnis relay mentioned a brief sighting, and then several weeks, maybe a week or two after, was when they stopped responding to messages, and the Ravone mentioned to our informant about this issue, right? So the order event was Petrichor sighting, holdouts occupying the planet, and honestly, it's a Pagam room, right? They are servants without a master. Deserts are dead, and if perhaps if they had been captured and forced and perhaps the deserts were captured, they could have done an unconditional surrender, but they are a very zealous faction. Any methods of contacting them have only been responded to with very high demands of evacuating the cluster and submitting to the rule of hegemony. They are in number, but they are not very responsive. Also, that Sundog is great, by the way. Breaking character real quick. It's fantastic.
Do you happen to know which of the Pagam are still around?
No. They haven't. There are outlying settlements that they may have raided for supplies in multiple parts of the cluster, but they haven't been pinned down, and they haven't necessarily redeclared war. Perhaps the war has already been. Perhaps the war never ended for them in the first place. So they're still acting under the assumption that they are at war and need resources. But we haven't received anything at all. Dorian mentions, I have pursued this thread for some time. It is a little maddening. They are guerrilla fighters now. They keep to the shadows, and they don't let new people in. Even Quantir. I suppose they believe that the other Quantir that weren't part of the Pagam Rue before this scene, before this war that they still wage, they believe that they are weak and cowardly, that they surrendered to the Alliance. That the hegemony is abandoning the progenitor's will. So they don't exactly invite new members. And they're also skilled enough to probably keep a consistent amount of people alive. And that is hard to say, because it is only speculation.
Also, Sean's not looking at the Dorian while he's saying it. Sean is like staring dead ass at Papatu and just watching every single reaction that Papatu's having to this.
What is Papatu doing, by the way, in talking about all these holdouts from the hegemony?
Just trying to focus. Just trying to focus on the cute little thing I'm holding.
Pam is just being silent and allowing that. There's this little expressive face and a little screen on itself that shows notes and things like that. But the face is just sort of just like very passive. I don't think it feels any of it, but it's still just like, I'm happy to be involved. Arthur's like, well, okay, so you know the mission brief. Relay node, acquire the research, transmit it to the node, defend that relay node so we get that data, and then abscond. If there's any chance that you can evacuate the engineering team part of the planet's part of the relay node team, I think that it would go a long way to show it the Alliance cares for its own. But we have another potential mission that we want you to ponder and discuss. Andorians, like I will take the majority of this one because I have pursued this lead almost entirely by myself. Um, there has been a Sundog sighting on the planet. I believe it is Prime. Icadis Prime, yes. Mostly ocean world archipelagos. First generation settlement. This was an independent colony forming before the Meda Blitz. Folded into the alliance, perhaps reluctantly. Sundog made a sighting. They destroyed one of the settlements in the southeastern archipelago of Kilunkel, and there was a substantial Sudanese team that deployed to assist survivors in the survivors displaced by the planet, and also locking down that site. That site was overrun by. It is hard to say what they are. I've been trying to keep an eye on anti-integration movements in in the cluster, and we don't have a single group of people that have claimed themselves to be responsible. But one thing we do know for certain is that this settlement of Kilunkel has been locked down by a substantial force of drones, robotic combatants, along with individual humanoids that have been spotted in that area commanding these drones. I have an informant that somehow found his way to the planet and became part of this organization. It is believed to be a sect of a popular humanist sapiist movement known as Neoterra. Any of you familiar with that name?
Can I roll word on the street?
Yes, you can. Yes, you
Okay.
can. You can
All right.
roll word on the street. I think that this is a sector of knowledge that you might be quite familiar with, actually.
Ooh, wah, wah, wah. 5
I'm sorry.
total.
I will tell you that you know of Neoterra. They are
Okay.
space Nazis. They are space sapiists in the sense of they are often lampooned on popular media. In a sense of the most supremacists are, or like like old timey, cane waving Nazis are. Um,
Yeah.
so like the term Neoterra has existed for a long time because at some point there might have been, a faction of Neoterra that was an actual problem for um, the Federal Alliance. And you've heard your group. I think we called them the Tunnel Snakes. Just out
No, that was
no
no. We were
Synth
saying they were like the
we called them
tunnel
synth
snake.
rats. No, synth rats. We called them synth rats.
Synth yes, we went off the TikTok trend that I didn't know was a TikTok trend until later, but we went
I
with it.
like it though. It
I
fits.
do like it too.
It fits. Okay. The synth rats. The synth rats. They beat up sapiists. Like if there was like a sapiist on their block, it was kind of like a gang thing to like.
I didn't think an organization like Space Nazis would operate into too many mainstream circles, which is why I figured word on the street would be a good
Yeah.
check for it.
I would say that you might have like joined the synth rats on a job or two where it's like, hey, buddy, come with me. We're gonna beat up a space sapiist.
Oh yeah, no, I definitely
It-
always probably got pleasure in those
Yeah,
missions.
then one of your buddies like, hey, he thinks that we're so cool for walking upright. Well, we're gonna make sure he's not gonna walk upright anymore. You know,
Yeah,
beating
I
him
like
back
that.
into the Stone Age with the monkey clubs and whatnot. Hey,
Yeah. Now that I have Thaddeus Brink's hijack suit with the mechanical arm on the back of it, I can punch Nazis with a robotic arm without even having to move.
Okay, so in short,
Fuck
you know,
Nazis. That's the PSA
fuck
for the
Nazi.
stream.
You
Patrick, friends are approved.
Kill your local Nazi, kids.
Yes. Yes. Punch your local Nazi. So the big thing is like I've punched I've punched someone that might have been from Neoterra before, which is kind of the biggest wording you could probably get. Is like
Got it.
I've done this thing with this person against this guy. Do you tell them that?
Definitely. I'm gonna try and frame it in a way that Thaddeus Brink would frame it, though.
I've encountered these assholes before in the field. While they do have some combat training, they're just a bunch of disorganized morons, if you ask me. So all I say is watch your back around them, but don't worry too much. We can handle them.
I was going to say, I mean, that's a very good contribution. And he mutters finally.
Every contribution I make is very good.
Sure. Let us say, maybe the Sapists that you fought before might be a little different than these ones. What worries me is that they are using a high grade of technology in lieu of actual humanoid numbers.
You give a bunch of baboons laser guns and they can do some damage, that's for sure.
I mean, I'm saying that they are making they have made the decision, from what my informant has told me, to limit people on the ground to avoid detection, or at least to avoid. They also stick into the shadows a little bit, like the hegemony holdouts, the Pegomru. But it appears Neoterra has a vested interest in Sundog as well, and are taking these bits of technology and keeping them away from looky-loos. A part of this mission is that informant has spent enough time in the field that he needs to get out. And it would be your job to escort him out, along with a substantial... He tells me it is a substantial piece of technology that will be enough to maybe get something off of it. I don't know. He could play it up because he wants to go home, but it is also, let us say, an operation to move into Icadis Prime and recover a person. And if that person happens to have a piece of technology that came from the planet, who is to say if it is a sample of Sundog or not?
Nats, this settlement that they took over, did they drive everyone out, or do they still have, do they have hostages?
And that is the harder part. These drones have taken several people hostage. They have taken settlements into I wouldn't say hostage. They have taken these settlements in their hands. I think a part of this operation was to ensure that little word could go out and warn others of these of their arrival in prisons. And unfortunately for them, I already had a ace in the hole. I always try to leave a little door to places that most people cannot get to. So that was my door, this informant. And it seems this time in Neoterra is over.
So not exactly a hostage situation, more of an occupation?
Yes.
Removing the Neo-Terra threat would also go a long way improving the Alliance can keep control over the area.
Arthur nods. It is my thought that your skills will be very important in getting this person out and the technology out. When we have our informant and our sample, Canopy of Joy can deploy immediately and bring a quick end to this occupation. Do you follow me? I want to be sure that we have this person out and this technology, because if the Canopy of Joy arrives and and assumes control, ends the occupation, they will destroy this technology in order to keep it out of our hands.
Oh, that I am understanding what you're putting down, sir.
I will not. Lives are important here, but there is a bigger mission, and this is more to your skill set. This is extraction. This is a mobile op that you can deploy on without our presence. As soon as you are out of orbit, we will begin a skirmish that will end the occupation, hopefully. And perhaps by then they will have realized that their jig is up, and perhaps they will not put as much of a fight. I can't say for certain. But I will say that was a concern of mine, and I had some ideas. But I'm glad that we are of the consensus that we can do a little more help beyond mission objectives. That, however, is our current first phase of Operation Keep Away. There are very little pieces that go a long way, because I'm sure that with the time that Pegamu has spent researching the Petrichor Cloud, they might have found something that we haven't. Next thing, with Sundog, anything at all is better than nothing. And having a piece of technology that has been affected by the electromagnetic radiation of Sundog is still a lot. So I would like all of you to perhaps discuss among yourselves which mission you might pursue first.
I'm fine with whatever the group wants to go with. To be honest, I'm a very agreeable man.
I think you get at least a side look from me with that.
Sean does do the whole.
Just as
Thing.
long as I don't have to go near the hegemony again.
I am 100% trying to lean into like the cheesy, completely unaware action guy. So sorry for the dumb character.
Oh no, I love it.
How dare you play your character?
You're a himbo.
I'm just trying to. Yeah,
I was
I'm
supposed
just
to
trying
be the
like a
hippo.
cinematic trope. Like, not really. This is not like an example of my role playing ability. I promise.
I would recommend we go with the extraction first.
Yeah, there's always the.
The
Go
most
ahead.
importance.
I think so as well.
It's
I think we knew you wanted to go look at the technology, so
That saw through me like a glass window.
I need to talk to you about something after this, Sean.
and
would
Alpha
also-
kind of like turns over to you. I also need to talk to you. I'm very worried.
Sean?
Sorry. No.
No. Sean was speaking.
Oh,
Okay.
sorry, my train of thought just went like completely out the window there for a minute. Let me just remember what the heck I was about to
I
say.
thought you were saying you also needed to talk to me. I think is what you were saying.
Nope.
Nope.
Sean was.
Sorry, but I'm cool though, right? So
Oh,
don't
yeah.
you need to talk to me too?
Um. Sorry. Sorry, I had a thought, and I was trying to remember how I was phrasing it.
Take your time.
The storm is likely to be continuously presenting new exos if it's continuing on the planet. Even if Patriarch isn't necessarily there, it's like as the storm itself seemed as much an entity of its own as anything else.
That is to be determined. We would need more information. That's all I can certainly say. So, then I assume you are going for Igadis Prime or I'll say the escort on Igadis Prime or the data theft in Drowsiness 8.
It seems more prudent to get your your agent out before they're potentially discovered. Whereas, if we're going to be stealing research from a group, it doesn't really hurt us to give them more time to do research for us to steal.
True, but they're also hostages. They're
they're-
probably hostages or hideaways of the small team on Drowsiness 8. But
Do they both have the same timeline, you would say?
I said they had the same timeline. If you don't mind, upon extraction, delivery to the Canopy of Joy, just make swiftly heading to Drosnes 8. I imagine any repairs could be done. Oh God.
That would work well.
You're saying it's possible to do both, save lives.
Both missions are of importance. I'm sure that some circumstances involving either mission will change depending on your timeline. There might be additional factors. I cannot say for certain. I'm just saying that there could be a timeline in which you are able to repair your mechs on your transport, which we will show you in a moment. En route to
First contact.
Yes, as you're correct. No plane does survive first contact. But that's why we give you a little more free rein. Regarding Igadis Prime, however, to contact my agent, there is a I say this as delicately as I can, a realtor bot on one of the unoccupied settlements that has been a point of contact between me and our informant. I will. What?
Where to buy a house then?
Perhaps. Just be sure you enter the code LCP240.
I'm gonna have my character remember that because he can do that. I can't.
My helmet recorded it.
This isn't one of those situations where we're gonna have to sit through like a 30-minute presentation about buying like parts of a house.
I would say it is part of the cover, maybe, to ensure that you are not spotted by spies of any kind, maybe. To acquiesce at least to the first part of the robot's intricacies.
I'm very good at blending in with the common folk, so I will make sure to gather information and investigate what the local streets are like in the area as soon as we arrive.
Actually, this is the first generation settlement, so it's not necessarily not many streets. If that makes sense.
Someone needs to go up to them and just be like, honey,
Yes,
no,
treats.
honey, no.
All right. So Arthur motions all of you to rise. Yes. About your transport, we have procured you. Let's see. What did I call it? What did I call it? Damn it! No, I should have. I had a name for this ship, and now I don't know what it is anymore, and I'm mad.
Shippy McShip face.
God no.
Let's all vote.
No. No.
Democracy wins.
Fine, you can name it
We're
if
gonna
you
vote.
want.
Sean's gonna vote Guten Tag.
No, I just love it. Democracy wins, but then, like, you know, the English government's like, nah, we're gonna override that and name it
Oh, here we go.
this other thing.
Okay. So you are sort of motion for all of you to follow, and you go to kind of out of the meeting room to an elevator. Takes all of you down to a hangar, in which there are multiple different sort of I'd say this is actually a hangar with mostly drone fighters. They look like they could be piloted, perhaps, but they have these kind of sensors at the front of their noses that kind of denote that, like, this is a thing that follows an attack pattern and follows a would-be flock of drone fighters. But however, there is a ship that is sort of I would say it is fairly big. Nothing in comparison to the Canopy of Joy, but if you were to look at this in a shuttle, it is significantly larger. It has a sort of I don't have a description for this ship, and I think it'll be up to you guys to kind of determine that maybe over next maybe until next session. The point is, it's a cool ship, and it has a like robotic cranes that can cart mechs into its body and basically transport mechs and people on the vessel at the same time.
Please,
This is good.
please tell me it turns into an even bigger robot.
Please tell me it's like the Macross. Please tell me it's like the Macross.
Wait. Do we use our mechs to pilot the bigger mech?
No.
Is it a combiner?
It's like
You
there's a
can-
cockpit for our mechs, and our mechs have a cockpit for us.
No.
I think I'm done. No. Session over. You can talk about that. I know you can make. I know ships can be made. There's a template for ships on CompCon. You can turn certain kind of NPC frames into ships.
Cool.
Like I have one for Ace because it's all about flying and shit, and bombarding with artillery. And I was like, okay, I'll just make this a ship. So we can talk about that stuff, and in the interim. But for now, it is a nondescript ship with perhaps a nondescript name. Arthur points to it. It's a sort of like, this is the NYX-0, known as Nyx. That is its factory name, of course. But the Nyx itself is capable of delivery of frames and pilots, and that is its purpose. It can be used potentially as as a defense, as a ship capable of electronic defense at least. But it's at this time its offense abilities are limited. It's meant to get you in and out very quickly. Extraction. Um, um, you do actually, however, need someone that is capable of flying this ship. And we actually do have a recommendation, unless one of you wants to pilot it, but you could also use someone that is dedicated to. Yes, I am seeing someone raise their hand. Pat, you?
May I train with said pilot?
You could. I was actually going to recommend that we have someone who has some piloting expertise. Sumi Arata. She is a useful cadet that could use a continued observance of your experience on the field. And she has mentioned before that she was a avid fan of all of you, as I imagine you were of her. So that is entirely up to you if you want to choose her as a pilot, or Paptu, you take that mantle onto yourself. Someone's gonna need to be able to power the ship and take off in the middle of a mission, and there might be a chance that none of you are able to be there at that time.
We really should take her on.
I agree. Plus, I could learn a few things, and then maybe if something happens, I could.
Secretly, Paptu like pulls out a knife, sharpening.
Arthur's just putting his fingers between his nose. Don't kill the cadet. Don't kill the
I
cadet.
don't want to kill the cadet. I'm saying if something were to happen, I'm not going to do anything. I just want that ship, but I also want to know how to use it.
Be left alone with the ship.
I don't think he's gonna tear apart his only manner of escape so quickly. Anyways, that means you are beginning to deploy now. That means we're gonna get your mechs loaded, we're gonna get Sumi on deck, and you are going to leave. Operation Keep Away is now in effect. We are going to gain for lost time, and I want to see all of you get ready for a very hard couple of ops.
Thaddeus Brink was born ready.
Yes, I'm sure he was. Now go get your mech.
All right, on the way, I would like to take an alternate route with Sean, if possible, for a private discussion. Whoa there.
We have 15 minutes left. We could do
It'd be
a
very
conversation.
brief.
Okay, very brief. All right, sure, go ahead. No problem.
And along the alternate route, I just want to say something kind of quickly to Sean and say,
we're gonna have a discussion later about why your voice changed.
What do you mean, why my voice changed?
It wasn't too long ago that it was.
Sorry, my partner was coughing in the background.
It wasn't too long.
Wasn't it like 2 sessions ago or something that this is out of character obviously, that your character's voice was different, like it sounded clear? Didn't like you intentionally make it sound clear?
Oh yeah.
Okay, I'm just making sure, but
Sean's really confused right now.
Sean's okay. I'm just making sure it wasn't like a day where your throat was hurting and you like couldn't do it. Okay, so just confirming that before we can. Okay, what?
Also above the table, just so I can make sure I remember. Was it just when you were in your mech, or was it? Okay.
It's only when he's broadcasting over the radio from his mech.
Oh. Well, my character's too dumb to know that. He's a himbo. We've already discussed.
Yeah.
You're gonna tell me why your voice changed when we were at that combat hub earlier, and I'm gonna tell you my little secret too.
See, my character thinks you have some sort of like strange, like secret, like voice modulator thing going on.
You hadn't noticed. My voice is already difficult enough to understand in person. Therefore, I have an AI that clears the less understandable tones out of my my voice when projecting across the radio.
Yes.
Grab you with the fact that my vocal cords are so destroyed that this is all the voice I have.
Oh, well, don't stress yourself out. But, yeah, I was actually joking about the whole, secret thing. But,
No, you weren't.
anyway.
Insight
I'm
check.
gonna speed walk.
Like,
Speed walk down the hallway.
His arm. Sean grabbed his arm.
Or you could grab the mechanical arm on the back of my suit instead,
No.
the robotic arm.
That are we doing a grapple check then?
Yep.
You
If
can grab, I got 3 arms to grapple. Which one?
So what we're gonna do is oh man, I remember there being a check for this, and for the life of me, I'm not able to remember. Hold on, let me check.
D20 roll.
I think with
It
the
seems to be what all it is in this game, right? D20 roll.
Well, it depends because there are you gain triggers over time with each level, and that gives you more and more of a bonus on certain aspects. I'm just trying to see if there's like a given trigger for that I'm forgetting.
Just take someone out.
Oh yeah, it could be apply fist to face. It could be
I have take someone out also. Can we roll a take someone out versus take someone out? Roll off. Is that how it works?
you roll d20 like I said, you roll d20s and you add any bonuses that you want. So it could be take control, it could be apply fist to face since it's unarmed. Assault.
I know how I'm gonna do it.
I'm actually not gonna roll against. I'll just give in. If you just want to say that you grab me, go for it. There's no need to roll.
Okay, that's up to you. I mean, it's a very quick roll.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It just we don't have too much time left. Yeah, you grab me, and I just stop and turn around.
And Sean's like, honestly, I don't really care what your secret is. Everyone has them. If your secret is going to become a danger to the rest of the team, though, that's when you should be telling it. And he lets him go.
I'm gonna say before I turn around and walk off.
The only danger, or sorry, the only person my secret's a danger to is myself. Don't you worry about that. As soon as you or any of these other people are involved, they'll know about it.
I don't know how you worked before, but in case you hadn't noticed, you are included in the team. If it's going to be a danger to you, maybe you should be showing some trust to your team and trusting them to protect you in turn.
Well,
Isn't that what we're supposed to be?
that asshole follows Axon around all the time with his handheld vidcom, and is always broadcasting. I'm just trying to be extra careful with this group. But listen,
You do realize you're more than able to tell him to fuck off.
yeah, I don't want to arouse any more suspicion than I might already be arousing. All right, listen, I just gotta get this off my chest because it's bringing me more anxiety than it needs to be.
How about we move this to my room?
All right.
Oh, not again.
Not like that!
You've been scarred.
Charm!
Let's take this back to my room.
No, this is because Sean knows that his room has no bugs in it.
Okay, well, all right. We moved to the bug-free area, and I'm like, I turned my back, to them, and like click my helmet in like 2 different places, or 4 different places technically, but it's like press 2 buttons up here, 2 buttons back here, and it just lets out some air basically, and take it off, and it shows.
One thing though, Sean has no idea what Thaddeus Brink looks like.
Yeah. Well, you're gonna see essentially a mohawk a haircut that's that seems like it's almost like tie dye. It's been dyed so many different colors, and it's just ragged and sort of just brittle looking from how many times it's been bleached. And there are tattoos that go all the way up the back of the neck and onto the skull, and like even around the sides of the face and stuff. And my character turns around with like piercings in his face, and he just looks like a Shadowrun street punk almost. Like would be kind of like a good way to look at him. And Thaddeus Brink is military, and that's none of this is military regulation.
Sean's head is like just slowly turning more and more. It's just like,
So yeah, this is me.
Where's Thaddeus Brink?
We're gonna leave it there. No, say no more.
That's a good spot to leave it. Move on to somebody else.
I love Sean Blake. It's like I don't even need to know.
Okay, yes.
No, that's not him.
So where's Thaddeus Brink, and my character goes, well, and then it moves on. Someone moves on to another scene.
Okay, no. We're actually at like 12:53, and like it's about time to get everyone to bed here.
Sorry, I'm having way too much fun with this game.
It's very fun. I'm very glad you decided to just go whole hog into spilling your secret. All right, so here we go.
I gotta tell somebody. My character's got anxiety disorder. He needs somebody to talk to about this.
Good place for your character also to begin to have something to relate to with everyone else. You know, I mean.
Also, Sean desperately trying to make being part of a team thing work.
All right, so next session we will begin. Operation Keep Away. I'm not doing part 1 anymore, part 1s and part 2s anymore, but we're gonna do like I'll find a new name for Operation Keep Away, but expect next session to have some elements of like roleplay and like narrative and stuff like really cool. You guys will have maybe making a plan of attack on approaching this Neo-Terran stronghold, Space Nazis.
Nazis.
To bring before we go into our ending, this is one of the many game modes within Lancer RPG, because they don't necessarily give you like dungeons to explore and all the stuff like that. It's mainly like mission downtime. This mission is specifically an escort mission, and I will tell you the goals and objectives of the player characters next session regarding an escort. And in Lancer RPG, which is a really wonderful system. All of you should check it out. It's part of a whole system that really details ways to make combat cool. I want to get everyone into the game through some like football style enemy versus player, but this is a little bit more dynamic because now you have some very clear and potentially like difficult win conditions that you have to meet to succeed in the battle, right? So it's not a slugfest. If you don't do this thing in 6 rounds, you will lose. This op is over, sort of thing. All right. So there is some considerable risk in addition to like roleplay elements. Oh heck yes, Lancer is right. Missed the mouse. All right. So finally, let's go back up to plugs. As we wind down. Thank you at the Raven for the overlay, Kathina Draws and Alex for some of the art. Thank you at Alana Knight for the Exo art. Thank you at the Simulacra for our theme. Thank Paul Melanson for all this really cool like in-game cinematic music. Very cool. Very excited to keep messing around with it in multiple different places. I'm missing someone, I think. Oh, at Retrograde Minis for the miniatures. I didn't do that at the start. But they are really cool, and they're going to be the minis we use in combat, which is super fucking cool. So with that in mind, we're going to start plugs again. Pat!
Wasn't there someone that needs to go last? We talked.
What was last? What?
Oh, it's cool. I will, when we go back around, I'll just probably take us on a raid somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I'm Pat. I go by Attactrick on Twitter and Twitch and places online, like this channel. Besides here, you can catch me on places like the Blackfeather Guild and Polished Cryptids channel for more TTRPG stuff. I also do video game stuff here on my channel, usually with Leland joining me on Fridays, as well as our friend Zan. And I'm hoping to have some more games and stuff running on the channel here in the new year too. I've got some campaign ideas I want to be pitching out. But yeah, I think that's it for me. Had a
Just
great
glad to be on
time
your channel,
as
man.
usual.
I'm glad to be on your channel. I'm very excited to keep this as part of the mainstream, maybe for Tetrick, and stuff like that. But just glad that you could host us and do tech side, because I couldn't have done a lot of the things I could have done tonight without that. All right, thank you, Pat. And now we have Catherine.
Okay. You can find me at Kathina Draws on Instagram and Twitter. Kathina space Draws, usually you'll find it there. I do like a bunch of art stuff, and I should be posting a bunch of stuff I recently finished off. So keep an eye out for that. Other than that, I don't do much other than art. That is my life. That's everything.
All right, thank you, Kat. Honestly, one of my favorite things I feel like from the impact of us as a Lancer stream is that we're just adding more Lancer art to this. Like, I feel like it's growing more and more appreciated, but like increasingly growing game. I'm blanking, but thank you, Kat. I really love the animation art that we have on the overlay here. It's super cool. Thank you so much for doing it. Check out Catherine's stuff. Everything she plugged. Next we have Jules at Ikusa1.
Hello, yes, I'm Jules, otherwise known as Ikusa1, otherwise known as Pap2. But my plugs are in the wherever the plugs may be. But this has been a fun little session. Lots of learning, lots of trauma and remembrance. But hey, exciting stuff ahead.
All right, great. And there is a certain reckoning with Pap2 and his people coming up, I suppose. But thank you. Check out his short film. It looks really cool. I've seen some of it. It's fantastic. Wish I could have been there, honestly, but like, next we have Alex at Legion Boss. Alex? Alex.
Sorry. I just was hearing something all of a sudden. I was just like wondering what the sound was.
I heard
Sorry.
tapping too. I was like, oh.
Somebody's dog caught into something? I don't know. Hi, I'm Alex. I'm a digital artist, and as you see tonight, I play Sean, who is managing not to make a complete ass of himself this time. Thank goodness. But finding out secrets that he did not expect. He was thinking, like, maybe Thaddeus was being like, I have this horrible disfigurement and stuff, and now I look completely different or something. Ugh. No. Boy, howdy. That was not what he expected. So, you can find me around on my art Twitter or my Twitch channel, where I generally stream art at Can Chaos Art. Yeah, that's it, I think. Oh, where you can find me next is Black Feather Guild, Raven Guild, where I will be on Saturday night with Return of Animus Absentus, and then next week on Tuesday night, where Pat and Leland will be joining me for the Return of Water.
Water.
Okay, that's the thing I'm in.
Water.
My character's gonna fucking die.
We're all gonna die.
Mine particularly. Which I will be okay with, because I'm gonna come back as like a commando, like who's really good with like weaponry and stuff. Just the exact opposite.
Like without clothes?
He
Like
keeps
without clothes?
crackers happy.
Yeah, a naked commando. Actually, I'm both a commando.
There we go. No, you should be a commander.
Commander,
Oh,
commander.
even better. Yep, I'll be the ship's commander, the crashed ship's commander. I'll be real angry that it's crashed. Anyway, is it me
Speaking of-
next?
Sorry. Speaking of Leland, just
Oh, hey.
anything you want to say? Anything you want to add to our list of plugs here?
Oh, of course. Anyway, you can find me at Leopold the Just. I will be more specific this time. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram are the most active places I'm at. You can even find me on there on Steam. If you want to add me, just, I don't know, let me know you added me because you saw me on stream. Otherwise, I'll be like, who the hell are you? But anyway, maybe we have some games we can play together. Anyway, what else? Oh, this was super fun. I'm gonna say it anyway. My favorite moment of the game was just everyone sort of just piling in for the meeting, and then just like the angry scientists. I think,
Dr. Maddox.
yeah. What's the word? Honorary. I can't say that word.
Ornery. You're looking for the word orner.
Ornery. Yeah, that's a hard word
Ornery.
to say. Let's just come out and say it. Let's just be honest here. That's a very regional word. Anyway, she's very much that, which is fine. I understand. She's a scientist. She's trying to figure these weird, goofy space things out. Anyway, as far as the plug goes, January 15th on twitch.tv/RAVVYN. Link it in the chat, Pat, even if you already did before. Link it again. Check it out on Fridays at 7 p.m. It's going to be my GM debut. I'm going to be running a Zweihander campaign, with some heavy nautical themes and some heavy both spiritual and environmental horror themes. So if those things bug you, I don't know, maybe don't watch it, but it's gonna have a lot of that stuff in it. But yeah, it's gonna be pretty cool. I got an awesome cast. We're getting some art made. It's cool. Whole shebang. I'm trying to go all out on at least like the first show I do. But come and check it out. It's gonna be great. Then we're gonna have some cool cheap donation things set up to where you can alter the game by giving players fortune points or giving GMs the equivalent called misfortune points, which let me basically like do all sorts of kind of cool things as the GM for the enemies. But yeah, we're gonna monetize just the character's destruction. So come on in, check it out.
Pay people to do stuff to characters.
Or you can pay people to or you can pay Raven to give the characters more tokens to make them cooler too. So
As a DM, I have never been more attracted to the idea that I could get paid to hurt a character. No, I'm joking. Dr. Max it just studies things that are real, and these things are just certainly not real, and that drives her crazy. Finally, me. Shadowbox AVA at Shadowbox AVA, both Twitch and Twitter. Tomorrow, I build a PC for the first time. I got told by my girlfriend who's built a PC before, I need to get a bracelet so I don't shred out any of my equipment. I need to ground it. So I have to do that tomorrow and find a monitor before stream time. But I can do that because I have all the free time in the world because I am no longer in school. So you get to watch me try and for my aching bank account not fail at building a PC. So check me out at twitch.tv/charboxava to watch me build a PC and vibe to some royalty-free vaporwave. It'll be a fun time. I hope. I promise. It'll be a long stream, so don't. I'm not expecting anyone to like, be around for the entire time. It takes just absurdly long amount of time, hopefully, to make sure a computer doesn't explode. So with that in mind, next session, we're gonna get started with some mission stuff, maybe some combat, maybe some more narrative, and maybe just explore that cliffhanger. So until then, from everyone here, thanks for keeping up with us. Good night.
Bye.
And safe, be merry, happy New Year tomorrow. I forgot it's New Year tomorrow. Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
New Year's Eve
Goodbye,
already.
everybody.
Bye.
Make sure to smooch, just whatever, smooch something.
I'm going to shoot something.
Smooch.
Night, everyone.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Bye.